Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. In today's episode, we're going to be continuing our online experience, and today I've got a special guest with me today.
Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost. I'm pretty sure now you can tell what the heck we're going to be covering in this video if you're having a guest with you.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned this in the last episode. Pretty much we looked at with anyone online. Now we're going to be doing a session with friends. Now this is the first time in this footage, this is the first time I've actually got online, so it's kind of giving me a little tutorial on how to do this. So it's kind of like telling me, it's like, oh, by the way, you can't, you have to follow the rules, otherwise you're going to get banned.
Did you know you have to play video game nicely?
Yes.
You know, I've heard stupid stories already where some people have just been trying to play normally on like a 4-player match, but they've already been getting some bad banning because the game thinks they're targeting one person, but they're not.
No. I think honestly, that's kind of silly.
Yeah,
but
I agree. But the first time you log on,
power rating.
the first time you log on to Nintendo Network with this game, they give you a global Smash Power, little milestone, and you do get some global Smash Power from what you played.
Yeah, I kind of got like 100,000.
That's pretty much what I got when I first played, and all I did was classic mode, so.
Okay, but we're gonna go, like I said, we went in with anyone, and now we're gonna go in with friends. Now, before I do that, I got a question to ask you, Lester. Do you remember whenever, do you know what the Conquest thing is at all?
Conquest is pretty much a little thing that Nintendo's been doing just to encourage people to play with certain characters. Conquest has just been little matches that they've been having, like Team Blue, and it's like all the blue characters, versus like Team Red, like all the red characters. And if you play a match that says this counts towards Conquest, and the team you're playing on like wins, so if you're playing as a blue character for like Team Blue, then if that character's team wins the Conquest, you get some extra coins.
Okay, then that would kind of explain it there.
Yeah,
but,
it's just a little minor thing, really.
As you guys saw, I kind of created my own room, because this is kind of what you have to do whenever you want to play with your friends. So you got to create rooms, and then you got to make sure they know that you created a room, and then they'll just hop right on, like Lester did in this episode, in this little thing right here. So
yeah, you can tell who's online and who's playing the game when you're setting up a room, because it'll show you who's on and who's active in Smash. Yeah,
who's playing Smash and who's not. Some people, it'll just tell you if somebody's online, and then it'll tell you if someone's actually playing Smash Bros. Yeah. But as soon as you both choose who you want, you both choose a map, but I think it's like a 50-50 shot on who actually gets to go.
For us, at least, yeah. It's going to be more or less most of the time you play. If you're playing a larger room, it's going to be a higher odds. For us, it's 50-50. For like 4 people, it's 25% chance.
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah, while it's loading up, it'll kind of give you a little training session. You can kind of train.
And you can also talk to your friends if you don't have like a Skype call going on or something with voice chat, but that's only in lobbies and menus. You can't do it during the actual fighting. Now,
this is the only reason why I saved this one is because this. Remember how I said, guys? Remember how I said in the last episode that I had one instance where online kind of like. This was kind of that. This was that match that kind of gave me a little.
I think what happened during this current time was you were trying to upload a video, I think, and at that point, that's when your internet was just having a lot of issues when trying to play Smash honestly, and upload.
And this is kind of how Nintendo's netcode is with Smash Brothers. Is they base it on both players'
It's still peer-to-peer. So if one person's internet isn't going to be great, then it's going to affect the entire match.
Yeah, so after this, I kind of canceled that said upload, and I just waited until after we were done playing, and then I was like, okay, now the internet's a little bit better.
From what I remember, it wasn't anything important. It was just a little quick clip, so it didn't take that much longer after you canceled it to finish later.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing bad. But
and it saved us about an hour's worth of lag to deal with, because we played for a while, but we're not using all those videos, all the match clips. There's just a lot of content to go through.
I re-recorded, I think, a grand total like 50 minutes. I only saved like a couple of our matches that we had. I wanted to show this one because I wanted to show the kind of latency problems we were having, but
you remember those Brawl days online? Yeah, never forget, because this is what it kind of looked like. I don't actually, it was worse. But what you're not seeing, really, it's hard to actually show it in a video, but when we're trying to do something, we have about like a second or so of button delay.
Yeah.
So when I jump, it's like a second later it actually goes in, and when you try to smash, it's a second later. It's pretty annoying to deal with. So that will still happen here, but as long as you have a good internet connection with someone,
you should
then
be
the
fine.
matches should be pretty much like you're playing at home. It's really smooth.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, this is a good step up from Brawl, that's for sure.
Yeah, they improved the netcode. Still needs some work, but it's actually a heck of a lot better than what we had in Brawl.
Oh,
a heck of a lot better.
Man. But you still died. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like right there. I was like, oh gosh, darn it.
I think that was probably one of the issues with the latency I talked about.
Yeah, because I pulled off that final smash like right there, and you were like literally right under me, and then you tried getting back and you couldn't. I think that was literally with the latency problem. And then
Yeah.
you discovered that silly weapon.
Actually, I think I know what really was happening here. It just maybe some distractions were happening too.
Yeah, that could have been a thing too. Because you and me were both on Skype call whenever this happened, so.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if something else came up.
Ah, gosh, I hate that.
And that's why that weapon is so OP.
I hate that weapon with the burning
There's a lot of
passion now.
items in this one that actually did stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, in case anybody is wondering, you can actually voice chat with the other player via the microphone on the Wii U gamepad if
Yeah,
you're
but
wanting to talk to people.
Just like we mentioned earlier, that's only something that you can do in the menu and during practice. You can't actually do that during an actual game. It's kind of limiting when you think about it. But Nintendo did that because they didn't want to have you voice chatting with strangers. So even with friends, you can't do that, which is pretty stupid.
Yeah, that's kind of silly. But, your Fierce Deity Link, I forgot to mention that Fierce Deity Link is actually an alt for Link. I hadn't used it in the all.
I really like this alternate costume. It really, really does look good.
I mean, that's actually, well, I mean, like, it's not a true alternate costume, because if it was a true alternate, it would be Fierce Deity Link, but...
Well, basically, Fierce Deity Link is the exact same thing as Adult Link anyway, so this is
Yeah.
basically Fierce Deity. The only difference here is really his equipment, because Fierce Deity Link does not have a shield whatsoever, and he doesn't have the Master Sword. He has his own special blade, really, that shoots laser beams.
Because, you know,
Laser beams.
Zelda's all about shooting laser beams from your swords.
Yeah. Always has been.
But this is like the first time you and me smashed in a while too, so it's just like, oh.
Yeah, the last time we did this was back in 2011, and that's when we were first
Good
meeting.
Lord, Brawl.
I know.
I can't say this enough, but Brawl's netcode was just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I couldn't play online.
But I could have swore, though, when the game first came out, it was actually pretty good, because when I remember first playing, I was able to connect to matches a lot. My latency, while bad, wasn't as bad as it got near the end of its lifespan. But then, just after a while, I couldn't connect to matches whatsoever, even with friends. And the latency just got a heck of a lot worse. Sometimes it went up to almost 3 seconds before something happened.
I know, it's just
So I don't know
annoying
what
as
happened to
heck.
the netcode near the end of its lifespan, but I think it got worse.
Yeah, I think it might have, because it was just ridiculous, because like the constant amount of lag, and I couldn't play with friends as much as I want to. Like,
Yeah.
I did a couple videos of Smash Brothers online matches back in the day with Brawl matches. I think I did one with you.
Yeah,
But-
I remember I did some of the same originally, because that's when I was
It's
just
just like-
first experimenting with multiplayer stuff.
There was a point where I just stopped uploading those types of videos because I just did not enjoy it. And honestly, like, even though I like playing Smash with friends, it wasn't as fun. Because
It was some of the people, it was a lot of the issues that Brawl gave us, and it's just at that point, that's really the only game we had. Now we have a heck of a lot more stuff we could do with friends. So if we ever want to upload any multiplayer videos or any of our channels, it'd be a heck of a lot cleaner now. But back then, oh man, the issues. There were so many
that's
issues.
for sure. But luckily for us, Smash Wii U is a lot better with the
Oh
netcode.
yeah,
So.
it's way better with netcode.
But yeah, that was the only match that kind of gave me problems here. But anyways, like, I couldn't really like that. I didn't experience any problems whatsoever during this.
Yeah. Honestly, my entire time, because I played a good amount of the online for now, I probably only had maybe 4 matches at the very most that are pretty laggy. I have one that was almost unplayable. But outside of that, most of my time it's been pretty smooth.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Most of my time,
But-
if I'm online now, I spend on the 1v1 because that's the only one that goes with stock matches, really, and I just always like stock matches.
Yeah, stock matches are better because, well,
Well,
I don't know.
plus,
It's just
one-on-one matches just seem to be a lot better with their connection issues, because you're only dealing with one other person's internet.
yeah, because well, I don't know. I feel like stock. I've always played stock. I don't really like playing timed too much because, well, timed.
It's
There's
fun,
a lot of
but at the same
factors with
time,
time.
yeah, since there's so many factors, you could be like the best one around, but then some KOs of your own or just suicides right there that can determine the game. Well, with Smash, at least, it's a couple different factors to winning, like an actual fighter.
No, I don't want to leave. It's like I did not mean to hit that. It's like, oh man. It's like, no, I don't want to leave yet.
Oh, I only fought one crappy match. I want to have a pretty good one.
Yeah, because that was actually pretty close to match, that first one.
Yeah, even with the latency issues too.
Also, can I say this? If you're going to play Great Cave Offensive map, this is probably the one that you should probably play.
This is the Omega form of the map, which is, the Final Destination form of it. This right here is the better version, because I do like the Great Cave Adventure stage, but it's way too big for its own good. You can't find anyone, especially when there's just like 2 or 3 of you. And there's a lot of stage hatches there that will kill you. That lava especially will kill you.
I think, honestly, it's only good for 8-player, really.
Even then, I played 8-player on there, and it's still pretty chaotic. Because you can't find anyone, even though that map is huge. Even with 8 players, it's still too big.
Now, what kind of weapon... Okay, can I ask, what weapon is that? That one that you were shooting?
I honestly don't know. I know it's from, like, a diver game, but I just don't know what it is exactly. It's shooting out, like, water missiles, basically, though. Also, I love how Sonic flies with the raccoon tail. Hey, look at me. Look at me. I'm just twitching my foot. I like the animation he has there.
You almost did not make it back, sir.
Well, that's the thing. Sonic's recovery here is a little bit better because that down attack of his in the air doesn't seem to be as long as it was in Brawl. Sonic as a whole here is just a heck of a lot better than what he was in Brawl. Because he was so last minute there, his moveset, everything was basically just spin dash. Here he can actually do more, and he has more power to him. He's not the weaker fighter. In fact, I think when the tier list first came out for Smash 4, people were saying Sonic was actually kind of high tier for a while. Which is good, because in Brawl, the tier list always for him was like, nah, he's one of the worst ones. Unless you use him in the Final Smash.
Speaking of Final Smash, I missed with that one.
Yeah, you kind of whiffed on that one.
I thought you were getting up, and I was just like, I read you wrong.
Yeah, you kind of did.
I'm usually good with Lucina, I guess. Like, you're just the better Smash player than me.
I played so much, and those event modes in Melee just train you to actually get really good at the game. I'm looking at Event 51 mainly. That event's a killer.
But, yeah, it's just like, I'm not really great at Smash. Lester's obviously the better person to play against, but I'm just gonna throw that Pokeball in. But, yeah, it's just like, I find that this stage is probably better with the Final Destination form of it.
And I like this stage because of his remixes, because all the Kirby remixes you have here are really good. But the stage itself suffers from the issue of how big it is, and there's so many stage hatches that'll kill you, that it just ends up being one of the worst ones in the game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Luckily, with all Omega forms of stages, that fixes a lot of those issues. Because the stage looks pretty good still, even with one flat terrain area.
But yeah, that's pretty much how it is with every single one I can think of.
Yeah, every single one does this, pretty much. You go Omega, it does this.
So how do you feel about Sonic Speed instead of You're Too Slow?
I knew they were going to change that because of a different voice actor.
Yeah,
Sonic Speed, though, that's a new line, if I'm not mistaken, because most of the lines they've been using for a lot of things in Sonic have been reused from Generations. At least that line wasn't. But his, like, when you hear him die, that's pretty much the same sound I believe you hear in Generations. And there's a lot of other voice clips that are taken right from it. I believe his Final Smash quote is right from Generations, too.
Yeah,
the Supersonic style quote. I think that was pretty much
Generations. That's pretty much Generations.
Yeah, like right from the final cutscene, really.
I noticed they did that with a lot of Sonic games. Like, you were talking about Sega All-Star Racing Transformed. They used a lot of the clips.
Yeah, everything that those Sonic characters say there that were in Generations, yeah, they try to reuse as much as they can. So you hear Sonic pretty much say everything that he said in dang Generations.
And now he can
it's great to reuse material, but that's ridiculous.
They aren't paying Roger Craig Smith enough, but hey, it's like, hey, we got his voice clips already. Let's just use that.
Yeah.
But anyways, now we're going on to our third match. This will be the last one for this video. But pretty much, like I said before, Lester, you're probably the better Smash player of the two, because usually when I play, you always lose, so...
Wait, what? Usually when you play, you always lose. That's what I just heard from your mouth?
Wait, I'm sorry.
So that means I lose all the time?
No, usually when I play against you, I always lose. That's what I said.
That's what I'm making sure, because, like, wait a minute, the context here.
But, anyways, I'm playing as Zero Suit Samus, and you'll see Lester play as...
I'm going to be playing as a newcomer here.
Yeah, you're going to be playing as a newcomer. You actually use this foot. I chose the Wii Fit stage.
I choose something completely different.
Yeah. But, Lester actually used this footage because he recorded his end, too.
I did this mainly as some testing for the system. I record footage every once in a while just from my different systems, just for testing purposes.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's the footage I'm looking at right now.
That's the one you're watching back from?
Well, yeah. I got both of them running.
Oh, okay.
This is the one I'm seeing so I can see it the right resolution and such.
Yeah, but... the right resolution, because the raw video I put up with 360p.
Yeah, it's not going to be what's going up on YouTube.
Of course, you guys are going to be seeing it in 720, 60 frames per second, but I was just like... But now he's playing as Greninja, and I'm playing as your Samus.
Yeah, this is my first time playing as Greninja, so I'm getting used to his moveset, what of his different combos, and just everything about the character, really. Because Greninja's one of the more interesting characters, and here I'm also trying to see, because this stage has one big stage hazard, which is the lights. I'm trying to see how that affects the game.
Yeah, it fell right on top of me.
Yeah, when you smash it down, it'll get dark for a few seconds, and it'll come back.
Yeah. Now, you actually taught me something during this fight, because literally I did not know about this.
I think that was the game winner, too, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that was the game winner, but... there's an item here that Lester picks up that I didn't know what it did until he did it. I was like, oh, that's what it did.
Yeah, we'll explain the item when it shows up. But it's one of the cheapest items that they add in this game, which... The items in this one, I say, they're good, but there's so many items that are really cheap that can either really benefit you or just really harm another player. They put a lot of items like that one in this Smash in particular. Yeah, think of this as pretty much like the Dragoon pieces. You gotta gather 3 of them, and you get a gigantic laser cannon to kill your opponent.
That one, I noticed one thing. I want to say this. I've noticed they added a lot of stuff from Kid Icarus Uprising. I know Sakurai made that game too.
I'm not surprised, really.
They added a lot of stuff from Kid Icarus Uprising.
It's just like with Brawl having a lot of stuff from Kirby. I mean, it makes sense. Because at the time, that was the last game he worked on. He worked on the Kirby game. So here, the last game he worked on before Smash 4 was Kid Icarus Uprising.
I still need to play that game. I know a lot of people, a lot of my fans anyways, they told me, oh, you need to get that game, because I keep mentioning it in my Let's Plays, like, I need to play that game. Everybody's like, you do need to play that game. That game is awesome.
That's a really good story from what I've seen, too.
Well, I mean, like, it's good because, Pit hasn't had a game since the NES days. Actually,
well,
I think
technically Game Boy, because he had a sequel on there.
This was actually a pretty good match for the most part.
This was a good one because I'm learning the character, still getting used to the moveset, and you're taking advantage of that right now, which it's keeping the match even. I always like when matches are even. I don't like curb stomps.
Oh, gosh.
Speaking of stomping...
Splat. I always like how Greninja does splats on there. He looks like he just hit a windshield.
Well, actually, no. I think Kirby's the best for that one because he actually goes flat when he hits the camera. So he literally does look like he hit the windshield.
I always like that because I think they... And, they had that since N64, was the whole falling right on top of the front of the screen. Well, except in the N64, they just fell down.
They had you falling into the background or like the foreground like that, but you never splatted on the screen. The splat was added to this one.
Yeah. They didn't have you bouncing off the screen until Melee. Melee had that bouncing off the screen.
Yeah, they bounce off the screen there, but here they actually changed that to a splat, which gives it more character when you really think about it.
That's brilliant. I love that. Hi, Arceus.
Face God, Samus. God
Like,
didn't do anything helpful.
No.
I mean, you're nowhere near the
no,
shockwave, so...
Yeah, I'm just ignoring the shockwave because I'm too far away from it. I was like, I'm not gonna let that happen to me. But
can I just say this right now? I love the remixes on the Punch-Out stage. It's just, I always loved Punch-Out music, but the remixes that they use here are fantastic.
Makes me, I really want to go get Punch-Out Wii. I know that it's offered at on the Wii U game shop, but like I said before, in the last episode, I think, in the last episode, my Wii U's broke, so I can't do it right now. So
yeah,
it's actually in repair as of this episode. It's like the status said in repair, so I'm guessing.
Well, that's good. At least they gave you a status update on that one, because I was actually gonna ask if you've gotten an update.
Yeah, it's in repair right now. That's what it's telling me, anyways. I like Greninja. I actually started to really like using him.
Actually, at first when I was using, I was like, this one seems to be an alright character, but after using him more, I'm starting to appreciate some of his movesets. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about him is the same problem I have with Toon Link. His down A can kill you extremely easily, even after you hit someone. I don't like his down A.
Yeah. Actually, there was like some discussion I saw from somebody who's like, well, we've already got the Fire Starter Final Evolution. We got a Water Starter Final Evolution. It's like, what if they made a DLC make Sceptile playable character?
That would make sense, and out of all of them, that looks like to be the best one. Just in terms of combat.
I don't think Sakurai's going to put any more Pokemon characters in the roster.
No, I mean, the only reason why they're having Mewtwo in here is DLCs, because they knew everyone wanted that to begin with, so they figured, let's just do this as like a trial, really, to see how well this will work out.
I hope that. I really do hope that they bring DLC to this, but...
from what I'm hearing, Sakurai doesn't really have any more plans for DLC. It was just Mewtwo. So I don't think we're getting any more at this rate. If we do, that'd be great.
That would be great.
From what I'm hearing, it might not happen.
Now, this is the part right here. This is the part that kind of won the game here, and this is where we're going to start learning items here.
Well, yeah, we'll be learning more of them.
You're holding on to that final...
Yeah, I kept it for a while, but I can't aim with that stinking thing in the air. I need someone on the ground. Even then, it's still kind of iffy.
I was like, I'm going to probably win this one. And then you...
Well, if you want to get Brain Age Guy.
Yeah, you get Brain Age Guy.
You know, math. 7 plus 3 is 10. Now explode.
I always like that. That's actually pretty... I actually played Brain Age a lot when I was younger. I
played a demo of one of the games, and it was alright. I just never got into the stuff like that.
I like little trivia stuff. I'm a sucker for trivia. This is
there it is, the special flag.
The special flag. I did not know what this did.
If you get away from your opponent and just hold that up in the air for long enough, in a stock match, it'll give you an extra stock. But in a standard timed match, it'll give you an extra point. So if you can hold on to that thing long enough, that could be a game changer right there. So here it looks like I'm about ready to lose. I just hold that in the air long enough, I'll get an extra stock.
And then have to do it all over again.
I mean, you were getting smart with this one. You kept it away from me for a while. But there's no points for you trying to use it, so it didn't work.
And you automatically drop it if somebody hits you too.
Yeah, if you get touched once, then you'll drop it.
But you have to actually stand still.
You have to stand still for a few seconds, yeah.
It's like, see, look, he's holding it. I missed it. I was like, no. And then Lester got another stop. I was like, gosh darn it.
I think that's probably the cheapest item here. You can argue maybe the Beetle could be like one of the cheapest ones, or what we saw in the first match, the other item from Skyward Sword that can blow you off an edge. Yeah, that could also be a cheap one, but I feel like this one's the cheapest because that gives someone an extra point, really, in a match. It's the only item that actually affects your score or your life count. No other item can do this.
I actually like Zero Suit Samus's Final Smash. I think they really...
It's pretty much like the same thing as Snakes when you take it back from Brawl.
Yeah.
Just more fine-tuned, I think.
That's another item that's kind of OP a little bit. That stupid club is really powerful.
Yeah.
But, granted, if we wanted to complain about items, we should have turned items off, but...
Yeah, we kept these on because this was really like our first instance of like a friend battle, because you haven't had any battles with Smash yet, right? Friends at this point. So this was a good way to just experiment with items too.
Yeah. But there we go. Lester won that one. But yeah, that's pretty much all the matches I kind of wanted to show. I kind of wanted to show what the mode was, but anyways. In the next episode of Let's Play Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, actually, we are pretty much done with the Wii U portion of the Let's Play. We have covered practically everything I wanted to cover. In the next episode, we are moving on systems. We're moving over to 3DS. So, with that, I'm Matt from Matt's LP Adventures.
And I'm SonicGhost.
And we will see you guys in the next episode.